Tonight, I bring you the story of a friendship that bled in silence. Listen closely, because the knife you never see coming is the one held by someone you trust. How long can someone smile at you while slowly destroying everything you are? He had a friend named Marcus, and for 3 years, he called him his best friend. Marcus had this way of making you feel special, like you were the only one who truly understood him. He'd share secrets, confide fears, show vulnerability, and you'd think, this is real. This is what friendship looks like. But there was something hiding beneath that warm smile, something dark, something patient. It started small, a joke about his failures in front of others, a laugh a little too loud when he stumbled. Then Marcus would pull him aside and say, "You know I'm just messing with you, right? That's what friends do." And he'd believe it, because that's what you do when someone you trust tells you it's nothing. But the jokes got sharper, more frequent, more public. Marcus would belittle his achievements, disguised as humor, share his insecurities with others, disguised as concern, sabotage his opportunities, disguised as help. And the worst part, everyone loved Marcus. Charismatic, generous, always the life of the party. When he tried to explain what was happening, people looked at him like he was jealous, like he was the toxic one. Because that's the genius of a hidden predator. They don't destroy you in the shadows. They destroy you in the light and make it look like love. Marcus knew exactly how to isolate him. He'd tell mutual friends things that were never said, twist words into something cruel, something selfish, and then when they'd pull away, Marcus would be there, comforting him, telling him he'd never leave, that he was the only real friend left. He became dependent, not because he loved the friendship, but because Marcus had made sure there was nothing else. Marcus fed on his gratitude, on his fear of abandonment, on his belief that without Marcus, he was nothing. But then, something changed. He started writing things down. Dates, conversations, patterns, and when he saw it all on paper, he realized he wasn't crazy. He was being erased. The mask didn't fall all at once, it cracked. He was at a party, Marcus's party. He walked past a half-open door and heard voices, laughter, and then his own story, the one he'd trusted Marcus with when he was at his lowest. But Marcus wasn't telling it with compassion. He was performing it, mimicking his voice, exaggerating his pain, making strangers laugh at his breaking point. He stood there, frozen, watching through the crack in the door as Marcus smiled, that same warm smile he'd trusted for years. And then he heard Marcus say, "Yeah, he's a mess, but that's why he needs me. Where else would he go?" In that moment, the knife finally broke through. The smile wasn't warmth, it was control. The friendship wasn't real, it was a stage, and he was the one being destroyed for entertainment. He started paying attention to everything, how Marcus would create conflict between him and others, then play the peacemaker, how Marcus would give advice designed to make him fail, then comfort him when he did, how Marcus would celebrate his wins publicly, then diminish them in private. Marcus wasn't his friend. Marcus was a parasite, and he'd been feeding for years. The most painful realization, he had let it happen, ignored every red flag because he was desperate to belong, mistaken attention for affection, manipulation for loyalty. Leaving that friendship was terrifying, not because he'd miss Marcus, but because Marcus had convinced him that without him, he was worthless. that no one else would tolerate him, that he should be grateful Marcus stayed. It took months to unlearn those lies, to rebuild what had been slowly dismantled, to trust again, starting with himself. Today, he knows the signs. The friend who lifts you up in public but tears you down in private. The friend who keeps score of every favor and never lets you forget. The friend who isolates you from others while claiming protection. The friend whose kindness always comes with invisible strings. Because real friendship doesn't leave you questioning your worth. It doesn't make you smaller so someone else can feel bigger. It doesn't weaponize your pain for entertainment. And here is what the crow knows. Some people don't befriend you because they see your value. They befriend you because they see something they can use. Your trust, your loyalty, your desperate need to be chosen. They will drain you drop by drop until you forget what it felt like to be whole. But recognizing this doesn't make you broken. It makes you awake. And walking away from someone who smiles while destroying you. That's not betrayal. That's survival. The hardest truth is this. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well. Some smiles are just the sheath for a blade already inside you, and you only see it when you're already bleeding. But even then, even wounded, you can still walk away. You can still heal. You can still learn that you were never the problem. If this story cut deep, if you've bled from a friend's hidden blade, speak below. Your truth has power here. The crow remembers those who listen and returns only to those who understand. Leave your mark if you're ready, until the shadows call again.